can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope track. Your vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. Your vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Your entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. If you're a dope track, the vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. The introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid, I bet for keep tell so me just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice.
Or good evening. You know, what time is it right now? Let me see here. It's 8:51. What is this? Let me get these headphones straight. It's 8:52 a.m. Central European time. So that makes it about 2:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. And yeah, I hope everybody is having a blessed, night, middle of the night. Y'all on the late stroll, a lot of y'all. And for the EU listeners, good morning to you. I hope you started your day off well. I did. I'm just taking a little, I'm actually off now, so I get to chill out a little bit. But I wanted to start early today because one of my homies brought this to my attention, and it is this food thing that Trump has done. Apparently Trump, in his Trumpian style, just like he does. I mean, Trump really is into himself. So when he does stuff, he thinks about himself. And if it works for him, he just does it. You know what I'm saying? But apparently he has canceled 90 million pounds of food. That's almost 1 billion pounds of food. And let me see. Can I bring this up here? Yeah. And it is actually not looking too good. I mean, particularly the timing of it. I mean, because this is coming right at the shutdown. This is coming right at the hikes of inflation, the Trump inflation, that people are experiencing, and from the tariffs and the flip-flopping and the the market rigging, the up and the downs, the grifting and all of this stuff. And I just wanted to check a little bit of it out. Now, here, this is drawing from some sources, ProPublica, and where else? News. Well, let me just play this for a second and see what it does here. A few different outlets, but these are ProPublica. I'm sure everybody's heard from that, and these are some local. KRPS, right, also. But let me see here. Apparently, this is going to affect people in some different regions of the country, so it's good to know. But let's just see what it have to say real quick on this topic.
Here are some of the U.S. states and food bank networks that have been identified as especially impacted by the cancellation of shipments under the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the Emergency Food Assistance Program.
Let me cancel that first.
Yes, there is credible reporting that during his current term, the Trump administration cancelled about 94 million pounds of...
Let me just stop that real quick. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Let me just go to the top. Where is it? It should have started off here. Here we go. This one right here. Yeah. I mean... It's worth hearing.
Yes,
I actually feel pretty bad about it.
There is credible reporting that during his current term, the Trump administration cancelled about 94 million pounds of food aid shipments to food banks in the U.S. that had been planned through the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Emergency Food Assistance Program. ProPublica, here's what the reporting says, and also what caveats to keep in mind. What the reports say. ProPublica obtained USDA records showing that between mid-May and September, there were 4,304 cancelled deliveries across all states, Puerto Rico and D.C. ProPublica, the total of those cancelled deliveries is nearly 94 million pounds of food, including items like milk, eggs, meat, dairy, etc. Social Sciences and Humanities College, examples at a more local level. In Missouri, about 1.6 million pounds of federally supplied food aid were cancelled there alone. Missouri Independent. In Michigan, nearly 3 million pounds of food deliveries were cancelled by August in one state's food bank network. Michigan Advance. In Arizona, about 1.9 million pounds of deliveries to food banks were cancelled as part of the broader cuts. Arizona Mirror. So the 94 million pounds number is not made up out of thin air. It emerges from internal USDA data used in investigative reporting. Caveats and context. The 94 million pounds cancelled refers to planned deliveries that never made it to food banks. It is not the same thing as destroying or removing already distributed food. ProPublica. Some of the deliveries were cancelled in mid-process, e.g. orders not fulfilled. ProPublica. Food banks and local systems may have partially mitigated the effects, for instance by buying replacement food with other funds, so the loss in actual meals delivered might be somewhat different from the raw cancellation number. Michigan Advance. The reporting is for the current administration's fiscal year 2025 period up through September in the dataset. ProPublica. So in short, yes, it appears that the Trump administration did cancel 94 million pounds of food aid deliveries that had been scheduled through federal programs to food banks. However, that does not necessarily mean all of that food was already in the system and then removed. Many were planned shipments that never happened.
Okay.
If you like, I can dig deeper and check for statements by the...
All right, so it says here 94 million pounds, and I guess that's like $1 billion worth of food. But let's see, I want to go on. There's some more info here about this, and I don't know, and I'm the type of person to where I don't read headlines and just start telling people and debating people this kind of thing. I like to really know about a topic before I act like I know. So right now I'm doing a little bit of research. So you let me know what you know. If you've already done the research, feel free to let me know.
Here are some of the U.S. states and food bank networks that have been identified as especially impacted by the cancellation of shipments under the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, TFAP, and related commodity programs. The full set is broad. All 50 states, plus D.C. and Puerto Rico had cancelled deliveries, but the data show where the reliance and loss has been most visibly documented. ProPublica. Hashtag states. Regions with documented large impacts. State. Description of impact. Missouri. Food banks across the state lost nearly 1.6 million pounds of food aid since May. KBIA.org. Michigan lost nearly 3 million pounds of cancelled deliveries by August. News from the states. Washington,
Michigan's
roughly
a swing state,
$4.7
right?
million in emergency food assistance was cancelled. In Spokane County alone, $405,000 worth. Kansas City region. The food bank network Harvesters, serving parts of Kansas and Missouri, had numerous truckloads cancelled, e.g. 4,176 cases of canned items and 11,736 packages of milk, eggs, cheese. KCU, New Mexico, the food bank Roadrunner Food Bank in Albuquerque lost about 850,000 pounds of food due to the federal cuts. ProPublica, Louisiana, the food bank of central Louisiana, serving rural areas in Louisiana, which has one of the highest poverty rates in the U.S., reported cancelling 10 orders totaling over $400,000 in food commodities. ProPublica. Why these places are especially reliant. Many of the affected states have higher poverty rates, rural food bank networks, or fewer alternative sources of donated food, making USDA commodity deliveries a more critical piece of the supply. ProPublica. In rural or underserved regions, for example central Louisiana, parts of New Mexico, the food bank is sometimes the only significant source of fresh protein, dairy/produce for many people. ProPublica. Some of the networks reported that the cancelled items were center-of-the-plate goods, meats, dairy, eggs, harder to replace with donations than shelf-stable items. KCUR, cities, towns and local communities. While the statewide data is clearer, specific towns or cities being impacted include the region served by Harvesters, Kansas City area, covers 27 counties in Missouri and Kansas, with many local pantries, school pantries, community kitchens. KRPS.org. In Spokane County, Washington, serving 26 counties across eastern Washington and parts of northern Idaho, a cancellation was quantified $405,000. Spokesman Review in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the queue at the Roadrunner Food Bank facility in Albuquerque grew as people shifted around to compensate. ProPublica. If you like, I can pull together a fuller list of all states with their estimated pounds cancelled, where data exists, and map which food bank service areas, by county or city, are most vulnerable. Would you like me to compile that?
Yeah.
The Washington Post.
Now, I saw somebody in the chat, right? All Democrat states. I mean, listen, again, unless you're the enemy of the United States of America, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of enemies of the U.S. Listen, and I also know there's some enemies of the U.S. in the chat, like people that come from places in the world that literally hate the United States of America and their citizens, like all of them, right? But I mean, for me, my approach to this, since I'm an American citizen, is have a little empathy just for people in general, just like I do for people outside of the U.S. Like, the first thing that didn't pop in my mind was, is this a red state or a blue state? I didn't even know, but I know enough about the economy in the U.S. and the political situation to know that this is probably going to hit a lot of people across the board. And again, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if people are getting the math or if the trolls are just trying to make people fight. But, you know, the things that I say are really for people in general, just so because I feel like the more aware you are, the more information you have, the better you can understand the situation you're in and then comment from there, right? But when I look at this right off the bat, there's one underlying thing. And I don't know why the trolls seem to like this kind of stuff and always make something about Democrats out of it or blue states. But again, I'm going to just say this. Because of the economies of the blue states, because they generally are giver states in federal tax dollars, they just have a slight advantage of getting along than some others might, because they're taker states, meaning they take federal dollars, they receive more aid, and those tend to be Republican states. But again, the reason why I just don't look at it in terms like that, because I know, because I'm an American citizen and I vote and I'm aware of my country because I've traveled around it and shook people's hands and talked to people face to face, gone around by myself actually with my camera. You know, a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? I like to travel dolo to a lot of places and look people in the eye and talk to them. And I know that it doesn't matter what state you're talking about. There's Democrats and Republicans in all states. Blue states have Republicans. Red states have Democrats. And I, again, don't know why a Trump supporter would clap about this news. I don't know why that is, you know, but there seems to be maybe online a strange suicidal fringe out there that celebrates pain for their own communities. You know, I don't know where that's coming from, if that's just troll activism, if that's Putin got on there, you know, a little bit of, you know, if they believe in Putin hype or if it's Putin himself. I don't fucking know, but this seems not like a good time right here. So let me see here. One more thing. That was Spokane County. Anybody, you know anybody from Spokane County? Yeah. Is that a Republican county? Let me just look that up real quick separately here. Chat, let me see something. I just want to clear that up. And there's some other details I want to check out here. Is Spoke? Let me see. Spoke. And I don't even know how to spell it. County, a Republican. Where is that? In Missouri? Let me see something. Is that in Missouri? That's Washington, right? Yeah, that's Washington. A Republican or a Democrat county, even though there's Republicans and Democrats in all counties anyway, you know, all states, but it's just I want to know here if that not that it makes a difference, because it's going to affect the whole state, you know. Yeah, it historically leans Republican. For those that are into the that are kind of like political hacks, always, you know, if you're gonna be a political hack, you may as well know what the fuck you're talking about, like straight up. And that's going out to some of the folks in the chat, you know what I'm saying? But God bless you anyway. God bless you anyway. This seems like this is hitting at a very bad time, though. In general, I don't know in what twisted thought Trump had in his mind to do this, but this is sadistic. This is sadistic. Enjoying seeing people suffer, little kids, children, single mothers, families. You know, imagine if you're a mother or a father and you don't know how you're going to bring, you know, food. That's the one thing you think about every day is like feeding your child. You know, so I don't know, man. Some of y'all got some real soul searching to do. But I'm pretty sure in real life you sadistic people are the ones that hide from everybody else. You know, so yeah, but the internet is what it is, y'all. But I'm here. You get a chance to see me, see who I am. I am who I am, and I don't bullshit about the things I feel or I believe. I'm a real person. I come from a real town. I could pull out my passports and show them to you independently for myself and my kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I'm in the U.S., you can come and meet me. You know, so when people have access to you, you tend to not talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But anyway, this hurts me a little bit, y'all. This hurts me a little bit. Now, even though that's a Republican-leaning town, that still hurts me. I'm not sadistic. I don't. I know that people get caught up in politics sometimes, but folks better start thinking about their goddamn lives pretty soon. You know. Albuquerque, New Mexico, is that that might be a Democrat state. Let me Democrat is Albuquerque. Is Albuquerque? I don't even know how to spell that either. New Mexico, a Republican or Dem region. Let me just say that. Let me just see here. Okay, it says it's Democrat leaning. But again, I mean, leaning means you got Republicans. Look, this is 55-60 breakdown, you know? Let me see. Spokane is 45. See, this is still, these are toss-up states now. These are toss-up states. I mean, so basically, I'm glad I did that because most of these that I saw originally are definitely toss-up states. Even Michigan is toss-up. Sometimes they don't always go Democrat. Kansas City, Missouri, just Kansas City is a poor state, bro. Like everybody probably would benefit from everything that Democrats are offering, to be honest. And I'm not making a joke about it. I'm just saying Kansas City historically is just, that's where Dorothy, that's if you need a reference to Kansas, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz? Well, it starts in Kansas. You know what I'm saying? That's where it starts. Of course, it's make believe in a earlier time period, like the 40s are supposed to be 40s or 60s. They're pretending like they're in the 50s or the 40s, black and white TV. But in any case, I don't know. Listen, people. Now, there's one other question I wanted to ask here about this, and that is, this is from the big, listen, y'all, this is from the big, beautiful, ugly bill. Let me just ask that. Is this cut? Is this cancellation or cutback part of a bill, or is it because of the shutdown? Let's see here. That's a good question to ask. Okay. Look, it's not part of the law or a bill. Oh, shit. Let's go check this out here. Let me hear it.
This £94 million of food aid not reaching food banks was not directly caused by a shutdown or a new bill. It appears to be administrative cancellations or cutbacks carried out by the USDA under the Trump administration.
Okay.
Here's the breakdown. 1. Not part of a new law or bill. There was no recent legislation passed that specifically cuts £94 million of food aid. The cancelled deliveries come from planned distributions of existing USDA commodity programs like TEFAP, the Emergency Food Assistance
So they didn't have to be canceled.
Reporting indicates the USDA decided not to fulfill some planned shipments, rather than being forced by Congress to reduce funding. ProPublica, please open your app to see this link. 2. Not a government shutdown issue. The cuts occurred within an active fiscal year, 2025, while the federal government was operating normally. Government shutdowns typically delay all federal programs temporarily. This was selective cancellation of shipments, not a blanket freeze caused by lack of funding. 3. Likely reasons cited. USDA communications and internal records suggest budget reallocations or internal prioritization decisions, supply chain issues or administrative delays, sometimes combined with a policy choice to reduce some commodity shipments. Critics argue it disproportionately affected low-income and rural areas that depend heavily on these food shipments.
Rural.
Summary.
Okay.
The £94 million of cancelled food aid is an administrative cutback, not the result of a bill passed by Congress or a government shutdown. If you want, I can map which states and counties were hit hardest to show where these administrative cancellations had the biggest real-world effect. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, I want to see that. Now let me just go over to this real quick and see something over here, chat. Yeah, so I'm going to ask a few other questions, but this is obviously, you heard it, it has nothing to do, even though the big beautiful ugly bill had already reduced this aid, some aid, this ain't even part of that. This is just Trump wanted to do it from the administration, just cut it off, and yeah, I'm just wondering how many people are prepared for that in their communities. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, let's go down and play this one now. Yeah.
Missouri lost £1.6 million of federal food aid to Trump cuts this year. Missouri Independent on's most affected by the cancellation of approximately £94 million of food aid by the Trump administration. Missouri, counties affected. The Food Bank for Central and Northeast Missouri CS 32 counties, including Columbia, Jefferson City, and Hannibal. Impact: lost nearly £1.6 million of FOA aid since May, due to sudden cuts to a federal program that buys food from U.S. farmers and sends it to food banks across the country. Michigan, counties affected: St. North Dakota. Monitor impacts in urban areas like Detroit. Impact: Gleaners Community Food Bank in Detroit noted that across our SDA programs, TY received £5.1 million less in USDA donated food in fiscal year 2025 than the year before. North Dakota, counties affected statewide, with notable Michigan Advance Fargo. Impact: the Great Plains Food Bank had 80 cancelled shipments totaling over £140,000 owed, valued at hourly $300,000. New Mexico, counties affected statewide, with significant impact in Albuquerque. North Dakota Monitor Drunner Food Bank lost about £850,000 of food due to federal cuts. Louisiana, unties affected statewide, with notable impact in rural areas. Impact: residents repo Reddit-ality food, such as overripe produce, due to the loss of meat and dairy shipments. Virginia, Cooey's affected Blue Ridge Area Food Bank serves 25 counties and 8 cities in Western Virginia. Impact: Experian Reddit he number of visitors seeking food assistance since he pandemic, with limited capacity to meet the growing demand. Dasson Valley, New York, counties affected, 23 counties, including Albany, Ulster, and Dutchess. Impact: the Regional Food Bank of the Hudson Valley Reddit nearly £1 million of food and cancellation of 27 food deliveries, potentially resulting in 2 million fewer meals. If you would like a detailed map...
All right, so yeah, for people that don't know, they say rural, right? But mostly rural counties. That's what it said. And for people that don't know what that means like a town that has a few houses, a farm, and a local store. It's basically not. These are not city folk. Yeah, and a city is the exact opposite of rural. So, just as a reference. But again, I just think this is again, I'm so lucky I don't live in the United States right now as an American citizen. I'm born and raised in the United States, born in Washington, D.C. My family on both sides is from the colonial period of the United States. So I do love my country, and I do love my countrymen and my people. I understand them. And I also had a pretty good upbringing in Washington, D.C., where I enjoyed a lot. I mean, a lot of love in my hometown city. And thank God I was treated with love from my community in my hometown city as a child and all the way up. But I'm just happy that I don't live there with this kind of bullshit. But I got to tell people something. If I was there, I would be reacting like a lot of people are reacting. I'm telling you, I may not even be able to control myself because I'm not used to being harassed, toyed with by anybody. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm just going to tell people this. I know about these kind of situations. I've seen and been in the middle of riots, real ones. And, so I know what it looks like to see shit burning up, in Washington, D.C., over some excessive police force at that time. Right. And but that's my generation. That's a long time ago. But I do know that I've never been trained to think that police or anybody else is any better than me. And I treat everybody the same, very politely, face to face. That's how I do things. But on the other hand, you know what I mean? It's like I know police and these agents and all of this shit, they're people too. Everybody can be hurt. Everybody is vulnerable. Everybody's a human being, and when you fuck with people too much, you know what I mean? I don't think Americans are really actually trying to hurt police right now. I don't think they're trying to hurt FBI. I don't think they're trying to hurt ICE. They're not trying to. Trust me, I know. Because when Americans want to hurt somebody, it doesn't look like this. Everybody knows that. After 9/11, people was getting their ass dragged up off the street by American citizens in a lot of cities. New York. Yeah, all those city places. Okay? And we've seen across the country in the history, we've seen even in the Midwest and the rural areas. I mean, we've seen the Oklahoma federal building bombings, right? Timothy McVeigh. I mean, Americans know how to get down when they want to fucking hurt somebody. So, but this is what it looks like when your own government literally wants to hurt you. And I really, I'm really curious to see what the red state folks are going to feel about this, because you will feel the pain a little bit more than the states that generate the dollars. I mean, I'm just saying and I'm not wishing that. I'm just saying that's facts. That's facts. What are your governors going to do? Are your governors speaking out? No, not if they're Republican. Right? If they're Republican, they're kissing Trump's ass. Like, what is going on? Are all these people in an Epstein tape or something? Like, what's going on? Do they all have dirt on each other to where, you can't say nothing to him. Don't say nothing. Because that is kind of how Trump walks in the building. Like, he got something on all those goddamn Republicans because they are fucking quiet as mouse. Like, this is a tsunami about to hit. And as you heard, it's going to hit rural America pretty goddamn bad. Now, it's going to get some inner city soup kitchens and things like that, But I'm just telling you, hey, I don't even care if I'm wrong about my assessment. I'm not saying what I'm saying to be right. If somebody else has a better assessment, I would like to hear this. I would like to hear it. But yeah, this looks pretty goddamn bad. This is ridiculous. When you drive the cost of goods up, you don't cut food aid. So, yeah, if you think this is, and it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, but let me know what city you're in when you answer this question. If you think this is okay, these cuts, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't think it's okay at all and you think that this is like sadistic, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious about how people feel about that. I want to ask a few more questions about this food stuff, and then I'm going to flip over to the Virginia Giuffre topic. That's going to be on another stream. I better put the link in the stream too when I do that in about half an hour, something like that. Yeah, but let me know if you cool with this. Let me know your city and put a 1 in the chat. If you not cool with this, let me know your city and put a 2 in the chat, or your state, whichever one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yo, Ring Assassin, it doesn't count. Put your city, man. Your words don't count if you don't follow the rules. This is for anthropological purposes, all right? So please, just when I ask a question, keep in mind I'm collecting some data okay, after this. So, and other people do too. So, you here is for free. Try to contribute. Let me see. Nevada. Okay. You in 1 and 2. Okay. You don't think, okay, you support it, but you think it's sadistic. What the fuck? And you from Nevada. I wonder, I mean, what is Las Vegas is in Nevada. So maybe you don't need it, but, why do you support it if you're from a state that doesn't need it? I mean, I don't get that. Everybody paid into this. This is your federal tax dollars. So that would be like just saying, something that you like or something that you need for your tax dollars. Someone else just says, fuck it, take that, take it with no meaning, Yeah. I'm a little curious about that one, Tennessee. Okay. Damn, you for both too? 1.5. So you kind of support this in Tennessee. I mean, you guys hate your own damn people, yo. You hate your own country. I mean, not country people. It sounds to me like there's a lot of people that hate their own state. Tennessee is a damn red state. Why do you hate these people so much? What the hell? Yo, it's Republicans that hate themselves more than anything else, man. This shit crazy. Yo, is Tennessee a Republican? Maybe I'm wrong. A Republican state? What the hell? Yes. What the? Again, I say suicidal all the time. Republicans are fucking suicidal. They have suicidal the shit they go for is the shit that fucks themselves up most. It's like, and here I am having empathy for their ass. Like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. This shit is like, what the hell? Are you purposely trying to kill them? Is this a troll saying from again, like I said, I can understand if you was the enemy of the United States or if you're a troll or both. I can understand that question then, but if you really from Tennessee, then you on some suicidal shit. I don't get it. Cause yeah, damn. And Trump just doesn't give a goddamn about red states. You know what I'm saying? I have to say that. I didn't see a lot of 1s or 2s, though. I see a lot of comments. No 1s. Come on, y'all. See, this is the thing. Let people be able to come in the chat later. Look at the chat. By the way, the chat is on replay. So after the stream ends, it comes back up after an hour. It has to process, and then other people can see it. Let people know where you stand in a simple way too, not just long form. It's just like when you're communicating, if you writing, if you write a long ass, 3-book novel and a person just asks you one basic question, goddamn, that's kind of frustrating. It's okay to write the novels, but when I ask a question, do the short form too. So if you agree with this, Trump cutting this, again, the food aid was already cut in the big beautiful bill. This has nothing to do with that. This is just Trump on top of that shit, right? If you agree with this, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's sadistic, put a 2 in the chat. And and let me know what state you're from too. Let me know what state you're from. Yeah, these people are sick, James. What the hell? What the fuck? Yo, I have more empathy for them, and I don't even fucking need it. I'm not even in the U.S. It's like, goddamn, these people want to kill their own townspeople. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, goddamn, excuse my language, but in reality, this is how I would talk to you, like straight up. In reality, this is exactly, if you waste my time saying stupid things, I'm just going to say it like it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to waste. I'm here, but I still, even though I'm here, I'm at my own leisure, but I don't have time to waste. There's a point to why I'm here, why I'm doing this shit, and it's several points. It ain't just one, trust me. But goddamn, how can people be so sadistic? How can you? And this is beyond racism. This is like, hey, if there was ever a black Hitler, it would be damn near Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because he hates poor fucking white people. Like, straight up. I have to say that. Sure, he hates poor black people too. You know what I'm saying? But god damn, I've never seen anyone in the history of the U.S. hate these fucking people so much. Like, and if you vote for a Republican again after this, if you literally vote, you deserve every piece of pain you getting right now and you gonna get. Like, straight up, there will be a cleansing. There will be a cleansing. You just may not have figured it out that a lot of it is like cult-like cleansing. Motherfuckers volunteering to drink the juice and fucking, you know, yo, they volunteering to drink the juice. What is this? Oh, I have to say this. Click like, please click like and subscribe. I don't say that enough. Please click like, please subscribe. It helps more people see this, and I'm outside of the U.S., so you get a chance to hear an American that lives outside of the U.S. Do some commentary from a slightly different perspective about shit. And also, not a lazy brother at all. Trust me, I'm not a lazy one up here doing this. I intend on bringing value, at least, you know, maybe some comedy, but also value, some intellectual value, taking up some intellectual space. You see what I mean? For you while you're here listening. So I hope I'm doing that now. But god damn, what the fuck? Let me play this over. Maybe some of y'all, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much and I'm really shocked at myself, but let me just play this over. Damn.
Missouri lost £1.6 million of federal food aid to Trump cuts this year. Missouri independent-ons most affected by the cancellation of approximately £94 million of food aid by the Trump administration. Missouri, counties affected. The Food Bank for Central and Northeast Missouri CS 32 counties, including Columbia, Jefferson City, and Hannibal. Impact: lost nearly £1.6 million of faux aid since May, due to sudden cuts to a federal program that buys food from U.S. farmers and sends it to food banks across the country. Michigan, counties affected: St. North Dakota. Monitor impacts in urban areas like Detroit. Impact: Gleaners Community Food Bank in Detroit noted that across our SDA programs, TY received £5.1 million less in USDA-donated food in fiscal year 2025 than the year before. North Dakota, counties affected statewide, with notable Michigan Advance Fargo. Impact: the Great Plains Food Bank had 80 cancelled shipments totaling over £140,000 owed, valued at hourly $300,000. New Mexico, counties affected statewide, with significant impact in Albuquerque. North Dakota Monitor Drunner Food Bank lost about £850,000 of food due to federal cuts. Louisiana, unties affected statewide, with notable impact in rural areas. Impact: residents repo Reddit-ality food, such as overripe produce, due to the loss of meat and dairy shipments. Virginia, Cooey's affected Blue Ridge Area Food Bank serves 25 counties and 8 cities in Western Virginia. Impact: Experian Reddit he number of visitors seeking food assistance since he pandemic, with limited capacity to meet the growing demand. Dasson Valley, New York, counties affected, 23 counties, including Albany, Ulster, and Dutchess. Impact: the Regional Food Bank of the Hudson Valley Reddit nearly £1 million of food and cancellation of 27 food deliveries, potentially resulting in 2 million fewer meals.
Okay, Hudson Valley, yeah. So in any case, these are supposed to be all rural parts of it's not inner city, but rural. But they did say something about Detroit, parts of Detroit. So some of this must be mixed in a little bit. But I have to ask, whose idea was this? What the just since I'm here, fuck it. Let's get a real idea of it, a detailed idea. So, because the devil is in the detail, y'all. The devil is in the detail. Just knowing the headlines is not that great, I don't think. Right
the cancellations of food shipments, like the £94 million through USDA programs, appear to have been an administrative decision within the Trump administration, rather than the result of a single legislator or law. Here's what we know from reporting. 1. USDA oversight. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, manages the distribution of commodities to food banks through programs like TIFAP, the Emergency Food Assistance Program. Investigations by ProPublica and local news outlets indicate the USDA chose not to fulfill certain planned shipments, rather than being required to by Congress. USDA statements at the time cited program management decisions, but they did not explicitly attribute the cancellations to a particular policy directive from Congress. 2. Trump administration context. The decisions occurred during the Trump administration's current fiscal year, 2025. Food banks and local reports suggest that the administration prioritized reducing certain commodity shipments for budgetary or administrative reasons. Media reports do not identify a specific individual, like Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack under Biden, or his predecessor, as issuing a public order. Under Trump, the USDA secretary at the time would have been responsible for approving these administrative decisions. Criticism. Many advocates, including food bank networks and anti-hunger organizations, criticized the decision, framing it as a policy choice by the Trump administration rather than a logistical or unavoidable problem. The cancellations disproportionately affected low-income, rural and food-insecure communities, suggesting the choice had a real human impact. Summary. No single member of Congress proposed this. It was an internal administrative action within the USDA under the Trump administration, likely approved at the senior leadership level, but publicly attributed only to program management decisions rather than a named individual. If you want, I can dig through USDA memos and press releases to try to identify exactly which officials signed off on the cancel.
This doesn't have anything to do with, yes, do that. I want to see which official. This has nothing to do with the big, beautiful, ugly bill. This was extra. Trump did it on it, outside of Congress. So there was this is not a part of any legislation. Yeah. So, as far as your vote as an American citizen, whoever you voted for in Congress doesn't even matter on this one. You know what I'm saying? Republican or Democrat, they have no say in this part. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, maybe they don't like it and they're complaining about it. If you're lucky, you have a representative that you pay money to complain. Hopefully they're complaining. But some of you obviously are paying money to congressional members that ain't complaining about this shit at all, even though they don't have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's money allocated or money being spent, somehow, but money, not going out to them. It's going to be dispersed. It's not going out to the people to better their lives, And that is that's pretty sad. But that's how some Americans like their democracy. I'm just curious, what happens when the next president gets in power? Should they do the same things the way Trump does them? Or should they go back to the way Biden was doing stuff, and Obama and, following the rules and, waiting on Congress to vote on shit? You know what I'm saying? Should the next president, just do these kind of things? I mean, I don't know. But in any case, let me look at the chat. God damn, this is so sad. Let me see. Credit. While the USDA publicly named specific officials. Okay, it says, while the USDA has not publicly named specific officials responsible for these cancellations, such decisions typically involve senior leadership within the department, including the Secretary of Agriculture and other key officials overseeing the relevant programs. Okay. Yeah, that's so. Who the hell is the Secretary of Agriculture? Who is the secretary? Just to make sure I see what that is. Who's the secretary? Okay, it's Sonny Perdue. Hold on. During the Trump administration, the Secretary of Agriculture was Sonny Perdue. Okay. However, the 94 million pounds of food cancellations you're asking about occurred in 2025, which is after Trump's presidency ended. No, Trump is the president now. You goddamn. That means the U.S. Secretary at the time of those 2025 cancellations was Tom Vilsack. Oh, hold on. Let me see. So this is an appointee by Biden. Hold on. Now let's see here. Obviously, so this is the guy that has to take the command from Trump, because obviously he ain't do this shit on his own. Otherwise, Republicans would complain about it, right? And they're not. And you can see the chat loves the MAGA folk in the chat. They love it. So yeah, you like a Democrat suddenly. Let me see. Trump. Let me see here. Was re-elected. So did he appoint anyone? Let me see here. There might be a little error there, so let's do a follow-up and make sure. Okay, here we are. See, it's good to think for yourself. I'm not into that cult shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't just tell me something and I believe it. Okay, here we go. Yes, after being reelected in 2024, President Trump appointed Brooke Rollins. So it's a fucking Republican after all. Good job, Brooke. I hope you have a good, feel good about yourself. As the 33rd Secretary of Agriculture, why is this a man's face? She was born, damn, it's a woman doing this? You killing kids, Brooke. She was sworn in on February 13, 2025, following her confirmation by the Senate with a vote of 72 to 28. Rollins succeeded Tom Vilsack, who had served as the Secretary of Agriculture during the Biden administration. Yeah, he's a Biden, so he got to get out, Kids might eat. Mamas might feed, and daddies might feed the kids, even in rural towns. After leaving the USDA, Vilsack, man, who gives a goddamn? I don't give a damn about Vilsack now. Sorry, Vilsack, nothing personal, but Brooke Rollins previously served as president and CEO of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Deep in the heart of Texas. All right, a conservative think tank. She also had roles in the Trump administration, including serving as the assistant to the president for domestic policy. And as a senior advisor. Her appointment to lead the USDA aligns with President Trump's broader policy agenda, focusing on cutting out food aid. On deregulation. Here's the thing. You would think with deregulation, they could produce more food, but apparently they can't. Isn't that crazy? Food is more expensive with deregulation. What the fuck? Oh, anyway. Broader agenda focusing on deregulation and promoting agricultural innovation. That means doing shit that's illegal in other Western countries, like fucking changing gene hormones and motherfucking food, experimenting on your body. Now that's basically what they're going to do in the U.S. That's what they mean by deregulation. It means experiment on you. But a lot of voters are cool with that, in any case, damn, y'all, I don't know. You got to tell me, is this a real topic for Americans? Like, do Americans not care about this at all? Is everybody doing well enough to where you don't care about this? And, healthcare, fuck it. You could pay a little more. You got enough money in your pocket. Are Americans balling like that? Let me look it up. What percentage of Americans in the USA are affected by these cuts, along with the projected beautiful bill coming into effect soon? Let me just take a look here. And you can feel free to put a percentage out there. Do you think it's 50% of the people? Do you think it's 20%? Do you think it's 70%, 80%? Let me know what you think, because I don't know myself. I'm just, trying to get some information here about it. Okay. Let me see here. The Commonwealth Foundation Fund. Okay. Let me see here. So that says okay. So let me just let this play. Let's see here. I'm going to ask another question here. Also,
the recent cuts to food assistance programs, including the cancellation of approximately £94 million of food aid and the implementation of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, OBBB, have significant implications for millions of Americans. Impact on Americans. SNAP participation reduction. The BBB is projected to reduce Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program SNAP participation by 2.4 million individuals, representing about 6% of the 41.7 million people who received SNAP benefits in 2024. The Guardian. The law also imposes starter work requirements and shifts more administrative costs to states, potentially reducing benefits for low-income households. Job losses. By 2 USDA Food and Nutrition Service acted to result in a loss of 1.2 million jobs nationwide, equivalent to a 0.8 percentage point increase in the unemployment rate. Wow. Projected economic impact. Fed Commonwealth Fund EOBB includes a $287 billion reduction in federal spending on SNAP for the next decade. State economic effects. States are expected to face significant USDA Food and Nutrition Service potential declines in state DP and tax revenues due to reduced federal spending. Regional variations. The impact of these cuts varies by state and locality. For Commonwealth Fund, see over 67,000 jobs in healthcare and farming sectors due to proposed cuts to Medicaid and NAP. Similarly, in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, over 820,000 people are experiencing food insecurity. And in Korea, Houston Chronicle icons federal budget cuts and mass layoffs under the Trump administration. If you would like more detailed information on how these changes might affect specific states or communities, feel free to ask.
Okay, the economy, based on the household. Let's see here, household economy, right? Right. Okay, and let me know how much more they will be spending overall. Right, let's see here. I just want to see a little bit more about who's affected by this and how deeply, and now not just that cut to the food thing, but the overall big, beautiful bill that's happening at the same time. Right. So let's see here. And I also wanted percentages. Are they going to tell me a damn percentage? Come on. This is like, hold on. The impact. If you want more detailed information, it changes my overall percentage, and then percentage of the country, and then each state. Boom. Okay, so that's a good way to close it off. I just wanted to see here. Put a 1 in the chat. You don't have to do this, some people, but I don't give a damn. I say keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I say keep it real. If you know somebody that is going to be affected by this in your family, right? Feel free to let me know. I won't ask everybody to participate because maybe that's not fair, but or let me know if you know somebody who's going to be affected. They don't have to, the people don't have to be your friends. Just, do you know somebody in your own community where you live that's going to be affected? Now, let me let this rock real quick because I want to see what this one is, what they say.
How Medicaid and SNAP cuts could affect your state, including the cancellation of approximately £94 million of food aid and the implementation of the One Big Beautiful Bill, OBBB, are projected to significantly impact millions of Americans. Here's an overview of the estimated effects. National impact. SNAP participant reduction. The OBBB is expected to reduce Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, Participation by 2.4 million individuals, approximately 6% of the 41.7 million people who received SNAP benefits in 2024. Benefit reductions. The law also imposes strict The Guardian and shifts more administrative costs to states, potentially reducing benefits for low-income households.
This is something.
Job losses. By 2029, these cuts are projected to result in the loss lanan. The Guardian nationwide, equivalent to a 0.8 percentage point increase in the unemployment rate. State-by-state impact. The impact of these cuts varies by state and locality. Commonwealth Fund had the highest share of its population receiving SNAP payments at 21.2%, while Utah had the LT at 4.8%. In Texas, over 67,000 jobs in healthcare and farming sectors are projected to be lost due to proposed cuts to Medicaid. Erfaringen ekonomisk forskning why in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, over 820,000 people are experiencing food insecurity, an increase attributed to signed Commonwealth Fund U and mass layoffs under the Trump administration. Projected economic impact. Federal spending cuts. The OBBB includes a $287 billion reduction in federal spending on SNAP over the next decade. The Washington Post FEX. States are expected to face significant economic challenges, potential declines in state GDP and tax revenues due to reduced federal spending. Commonwealth Fund detailed information on how these changes might affect specific states or communities. Feel free to ask. Commonwealth Fund.
Let me see here. What is the additional cost to the extra cost? Extra cost to households in the USA since inflation has risen in Trump's term thus far. I'm just curious. I don't it's hard to project, but I'm just curious what it is right now before next month. Obviously, it takes about 2-3 months for data to come in. Three months. You know what I mean? So it's always 3 months behind data. So whatever you're really experiencing, the data that's reported is always 2 to 3 months behind. I mean, people that work in data know that. So in any case, but here we go. Let's just see this. I'm curious.
Since President Donald Trump was re-elected in 2024, U.S. households have experienced a significant increase in living costs, primarily driven by inflation and new tariffs. Reason overview of the financial impact. Overall inflation impact. Annual inflation rate. As August 2025, the Consumer Price Index (CPI) for all urban consumers increased by 2.9% over the past 12 months. BLS.gov Roth. Consumer spending increased by 0.6% in August 2025, indicating that households are spending more despite rising costs. Average annual household inflation cost. The Yale Budget Lab estimates that the typical S household is spending an additional $3,800 per year due to inflation, primarily from new tariffs. Tariff impact. Recent tariffs, including Investopedia N all imports and high levies on specific trade partners, have increased consumer prices on goods such as food, clothing, and transportation. Housing costs, home ownership costs. The Ever New York Post stated with owning and maintaining a typical single-family HE in the U.S. amount to $21,400 in 2025. Renters' costs. Renters are also feeling the strain, with median rent rising 4.1% bank rate H in 2024. State-by-state impact. The impact of inflation and tariffs varies by state, with some states the Washington Post due to specific economic factors. For instance, Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia. These states have seen the sharpest increases in housing costs, driven by mortgage tests and limited housing supply. Hawaii, California, and Washington, D.C. These areas remain the most expensive housing markets, with median monthly payments as the Washington Post and the national average.
Damn, I didn't know Hawaii was that.
Summary. Factor, expensive. Estimated additional annual cost per household. The Washington Post. Inflation CPI increase. Varies by spending habits. Tariffs, $3,800. Home ownership costs, $21,400. Renters costs, $15,684. 12 months, $1,307. These figures highlight the significant financial strain on U.S. households due to rising costs in various sectors.
It is,
if you would like more detailed information.
I'm just curious because obviously inflation is different in different places. Like the cost of goods are different in different places, and what people earn and blah, blah, blah. But what you earn, it's offset by how much the cost of goods are. So, there's people in the world that earn less and keep more of their money, which is insane, because I'm here to tell you, look it up yourself. EU citizens, residents, on average, compared to American citizens, already before this inflation, we're talking about last year, just on average, bring home keep 1,000 after they pay their taxes in the EU, after people pay their essentials, housing, electricity, water bill, transportation, food, all the essentials, right? Your rent. On average, keep $1,000 more of their money a month in their own pockets than Americans do. That's from last year's data. So Europeans don't make more than Americans on average. That's wild. But again, it's just news in case you're interested in that kind of data, right? I don't know. It impacts me. I don't mind. I mean, some of y'all get paid more than me, and I might keep more money in my goddamn pocket every month, which is why I got a smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about getting sick. What's going to happen to me if I get sick either? I'm not worried about my kids going to school. But I do have a decent job now. Don't get me wrong. It's a fine job. You know what I'm saying? I love my job. I get a lot of freedom with it too, but damn, it's just something to think about. Now, this 3,000, this is what I wanted to ask y'all. This 3,000 off of tariffs, home ownership costs went up to, renters cost 12 months went up times $1,000. Listen, in 12 months it went up. God damn. Listen, let me just ask you this straight up question. Can you feel it, or is this data not useful? Like, is the data giving a false idea of what's going on? Do you feel it in your pockets? Like right now, do you feel the change? And what is the change you feel? Is it better, your pockets? Are your pockets doing better? And are you affording more things? Are you living better than you were in the Biden 4 years, or worse? Put a 1 in the chat if you're living better, and put a 2 in the chat if you're living worse. If you can't feel these numbers, if they haven't really hit your pockets and it's not really significant to you enough to feel, put a 1 in the chat. If it's hitting your pockets enough and you can feel it, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious. I don't like the numbers. I'm going to put it to you this way. If I looked at these goddamn numbers and was about to figure out where I'm moving to or taking a vacation to, I wouldn't fucking vacation. Why would I vacation in the U.S. when I can do it in Canada, man? Canada got fucking Buffalo. They got woods and trees and cities, and they got all kinds of shit. I could go fishing, rent a boat. I could go hunting and shit in Canada. I could go downtown, get some food, rent a hotel downtown in Quebec or some other Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Rent a car, drive around, feels fucking safe without ice. God damn, let alone I think it's a little more affordable in Canada right now. Shit, why do I want to burn my hard-earned dollars, But some people want to live on the wild side. I understand that, Again, the MAGA folk, they be on some wild side suicide ride shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me the Kool-Aid. Give me this shit, goddammit. They rip it out of the bag and everything. Having shit spilling all over their face. Give me the Kool-Aid. And if you don't give it fucking to me right now, they might shoot you if you don't give them the goddamn Kool-Aid. It's like, damn. But, okay, so y'all feeling it. I feel you. Y'all feeling it. And I'm just trying to entertain a little bit because I know it's not easy to do. Trust me, I go back and forth. Sometimes when I first read this story today, I'm sorry, it hit me. It actually hit me. But you gotta do something productive to stay a little motivated, stay happy, be happy about what you do have. And think about this. In the cities, you ain't alone. Just think about that. And people that live in the cities, in the big cities right now, always remember, in the suburbs too, always remember, hey man, you could make somebody else's day just by being kind. You know, you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have much to give or anything like that, but it's not about what you got to give. Everybody got something to give. Kindness is for free. You see what I mean? Now remember, if people are kind to each other, it's for free. Folks are going to make through it. But what about the people that are alone? The people that have less neighbors? The people that live 10 minutes, before there's another house, or, there's less. What about people in the rural areas? You know what I'm saying? Like, less people to keep you happy, to bump into, to say hello, to let you know what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? I feel for people in that situation. It's not, that's definitely not going to be a fun one. And to people in places like Appalachian Mountains, god damn, and the Appalachian, man, what is this? Trump is fucking sadistic. Name me the give me your top 5. Let me see. What are the top 5 poorest regions of the USA? I'm just curious about this. Let me see what it pulled up here. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat, man. Wages in California, DC, and Hawaii are more than significantly higher than other parts of the country. So what's no, I don't have a problem. I understand that. Yeah. By the way, I don't know how many of you guys tune in, how often you tune in, but we've been discussing this for a minute. A lot of MAGA people don't realize this, that their minimum wage is only $7 to $10. That's the best red states have. Blue states, the minimum wage is between $11, something like that, and $20. That's just the minimum wage, and this is what I've been saying, that blue states in a crisis like this kind of thing, they're just going to fare off a little bit better than people that aren't. Just if you look at the economy, I mean, they can, not that it won't hurt, not that it won't be painful, but they can weather this pain a little bit better than others. And that's why I say MAGA people are suicidal. Like, they voted for someone that is not doing nothing but kicking them in the ass, making them feel good, giving them some Kool-Aid, and then just coming right behind them and just kicking them in the fucking ass. And yet some of these people still like it. Like, and I see why that would make Trump, bring out his sadistic side, because goddamn, you kicking somebody in the ass, demeaning them, and they like it. That's like sadomasochism and shit. It's fucked up. It's a sick way to do things, but it is what it is. What can you do about it? I can't do shit about it. I can talk, I can empathize, I can connect, I can try to unite with other people, spread information, try to give some inspiration about life. Matter of fact, anything's possible. Anything is possible if you believe. Look, and the lesson should be, look at how these goddamn MAGA people believe in some of the dumbest shit, and they could be hard-headed as fuck and bring this into reality, which of course is painful for them, but they did it through the mind. Through just ignoring everybody. Fuck it, I believe in Trump. They just didn't realize Trump doesn't give a fuck about them. They just didn't realize that, and then it works backwards. But if people really do believe in the right people, shit, especially if you believe in yourself too, and what energy and how you can inspire others, how you can make somebody's day a little easier, just do the small things. Hello, how you doing? Letting people know they're not alone. showing compassion. Yo, I'm telling you, anything is, sky is still the limit. Don't let this motherfucker Trump make you think it's over. It ain't over. He can smash the White House. He can steal the people's money. He can terrorize the communities. Yo, it ain't going to be enough to break Americans, homie. It's not going to be enough to break. Americans are fucking strong. There's no Americans that got a free fucking handout. Are you crazy? In the Western world, Americans are known already to be the one people that fucking work 2-3 hours, 4 hours longer a week just at a regular job for to struggle to pay their goddamn bills. I know for a fact ain't no goddamn African American lazy. Period. That's just impossible. That may be misdirected at sometimes, but fucking lazy shit. You out your goddamn mind. You out of your goddamn mind. Don't even come off like that. You just stay out of that. You're going to lose that battle every fucking time. And not that other people are lazy either, because, you can beat your ass on the street. That's what the United States is known for anyway. In good times, in good times, it's known for your ass could be on the street. That's not the rest of Western Europe. That's not Western Europe. That's not the Western world known for that. That's the motherfucking United States known for that. And yet people want to make it harder on themselves. I really don't know. But let me see here. Let me go over to something. Let me pull this up about Trump. He's a funny guy. And let's just see here. YouTube. There was something that came up. Y'all got to see. There's something that came up about Trump, and while we on this, I'm gonna have to do that other stream with Virginia Gouffre actually in a little bit later on today. But let me see here while y'all here. Let me check this one out. This is the craziest shit right here. Look at this shit. This gives you an idea about Trump's fake ass. Look at this. Now, Trump said that the Epstein files are a hoax, right?
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
the Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many times.
The Clintons are friends.
Well, I can't say friends, but I know
You're friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play at my clubs.
Are you saying there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem.
So you see, this is what Trump was saying when he was running against Hillary Clinton. He was saying, that that shit is real. He was saying, and this is who the people voted for. And now he's saying it's a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. And this is this is MAGA. So if your plan doesn't turn out well, if it doesn't turn out the way you thought it was, it's because you didn't notice this guy's tendency to lie, his ability to lie. I mean, he's a straight up narcissist. And, and if you I don't know how many people know about narcissists, but if you believe them, they'll snatch your soul. They will snatch your soul, man.
Raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island.
He said Bill Clinton got a problem. He said, somebody got a problem here.
And was really a cesspool.
It was really a cesspool.
There's no question about it.
There's no question about it.
Just ask Prince Andrew.
Just ask Prince Andrew. And you see that smile on his face? He threw Prince Andrew under the bus, and
he'll tell you about it.
He'll tell you about it, Prince Andrew. And look at that smile. So was it fake? Was it a hoax then? Was Trump on some hoax shit back then? Was it a Democrat hoax when he was saying that? Maybe it was. Just like maybe it was Biden behind Jan 6.
The island was an absolute cesspool. So, and he's been there for many times. Well, I can't say friends, but I know
You're friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play at my clubs.
Are you saying there's a political problem?
We don't worry. If you, but listen, the allegations, I'm going to go live later on in a few hours, right? I'm going to put this Virginia Giuffre thing back. But some of the allegations about her, what she went through, what she says in her new book, that's what we're going to go over. Yo, she was saying, I mean, not that the entire experience isn't violent physically and mentally anyway, but some of the things that she described are, heightened levels of violence, like more than violence. Like from what I hear, it's like beatings. You know what I'm saying? Like serious, like shit like that. And this is one thing I wanted to ask people. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to go over. I'm just going to drop the link to the live and just start on the other live here. Sorry about that, y'all, because fuck it. We may as well get into it now with this Virginia Giuffre thing. It's actually really sad. I'm going to put the link in the chat for people so folks have it. Let me see here. And then you guys can migrate over. I'm going to just have a little slight pause, and then you all can migrate over to that one. Those of you just going to stick around for that. Yeah, man. This is nothing but bad. But since Andrew got brought up, it's the perfect time to just segue over and do this. Let me see here. Here we go. Let me get y'all up here. Put this in the chat for everybody. What the hell? Turn that off. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. Where's the chat at? Right here. Okay. Let me see. Next stream. Now. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, folks. Here it is right here. All right. So just hop on over to the next stream. What is going on here, man? Gotta cut that down. Can y'all see it in the chat? Here it is. And you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm also going to pin it to the top. So y'all can see where it is. I'm about to migrate over now. I'm gonna see you guys in a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back with y'all. Okay. Hope everybody hangs in there with me. Peace, y'all. I'll be right back.
Check.
Oh shit! What is this, man? Come on. Where's the? Here we go. Is it playing? No. Oh, here we go. I'm losing my mind up here. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm forgetting how this works. Is this it right here? Let's go. All right, I'm gonna see y'all over on the new stream. I'll be back with y'all 2 seconds. 1.
They want more. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. And I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink. But I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they
Like the lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor